We got a brand new camera from Ring, and it is the Stick-Up Cam Pro. Now the big question is, what makes this camera a Pro version? Because you can still buy the original version too. So is this new Pro version a 2K or 4K camera? Nope, still 1080p. Does it have a spotlight on it? Nope. That's a whole nother camera from Ring altogether. So then why is this a Pro camera, and is it worth its $180 price tag? Because who wants to go out there and waste money on a new camera if it's not even as good as the older version out there? And that's what we're gonna be taking a look at in today's video. I wanna take a look at some of the new features with this Pro camera, and then we're also going to be doing some side-by-side comparisons with the old version of the Ring Stick-Up Cam. So here is the Stick-Up Cam, the original Stick-Up Cam, and what it looks like. We have it in white here. Now, comparison with the Pro version, here is the Pro version. I was actually shocked at how much bigger it is. As far as what it offers though, it's pretty identical to the original version here. We've got our speakers down here at the bottom. You can see this one's got a much bigger speaker on there, should sound better. There is our image sensor there on the front. They both come on these stands. If we take a look here at the back, let me set this one down and pop this little cover off here. This one has a barrel port, so if you do want to plug it in, you can buy an additional cable to get this one powered up. And we also have the same with this one right here, except this one's going to have USB-C down underneath here, and that is always going to be exposed. Now, supposedly plugging these in are going to add some additional features, but because I bought the battery powered version of these, that's going to have to be a video for later on. And in fact, we'll do a comparison of what the cameras look like being battery powered versus plugged in and see if there is a difference there too. So stay tuned for that. Now, for both of these cameras right here, the bottoms do twist and pull off. You can then put the battery in there. We have a port right here, or if we take a look on the bottom right here, you can see there's a screw right there. So once you get the battery in, you can screw that down to lock it into place so nobody can open it up and take the battery out of it. Let me go ahead and put this back on. We also have the mount on the bottom. That's going to be for both of these right here. This is going to be something that you will mount this plate up, and then once you get that plate mounted, there is a locking screw right here which can lock it into place, meaning that people then can't take this off because it is going to be screwed in. So there are some extra security features with mounting this up and then also not having the battery stolen. Now let's talk about some of the features that make this Pro camera a Pro camera. So here we have the Ring Stick-Up Cam Pro. It does come in at $180. Now it does have a couple other options that we see over here for power options. So I've got the battery powered version. We also have the solar panel and the plug-in. So different prices depending on what you get here. Here are the things that really stick out with this Pro version, and that is going to be, if we see up in this corner right here, the bird's eye view for this demo, this is going to give dots of where people are walking in relation to that camera. These are all things that you're going to set up through the app. Now, the benefit of this is that you can set up your detection zone here to look out at your yard. You are then going to use the 3D motion detection to set up a detection zone. So now if somebody is walking in that detection zone from a bird's eye view, so shooting down, it can then alert you if somebody is coming. Now, the cool thing about this is that, say for example, you have your camera set up, it's facing out to the front of your yard, and maybe you have a sidewalk, people walking by your house all the time. Now, you don't want to be notified every time somebody is walking by your house, but if somebody steps onto your grass, you do want to be notified. This is where this feature is really going to benefit you. You can set up that detection zone in your grass area. So now somebody has stepped onto your property, you can then get your alerts and the camera will start recording. That's a pretty cool feature with this camera right here. Now, some additional features that we have with this camera is that we have got Audio Plus. We've got the 3D motion detection that we just talked about. This is a 1080p camera with colored night vision. However, colored night vision with Ring has never been that great. We've got weather resistance. You can use this indoor, outdoors. This does have pre-roll, meaning that it will show you, I think it's 3 to 4 seconds of blurry image before it actually kicks into a good image. Now, this can be helpful if something happened really quick or something happened ahead of time. You will get a little bit of kind of a buffer giving you an idea of what happened before that 1080p image really kicked in. Now, it's super blurry and it's not all that useful, but at least you have it. And then we also have the feature for dual band Wi-Fi. So this can take advantage of your 5 gigahertz network. The great thing on the Ring website is that they have broken both of these cameras up with a side-by-side. So we've got the Ring Stick-Up Cam Pro right next to the Ring Stick-Up Cam battery. These are both the battery-powered versions. The difference is that a lot of them we already talked about, but this one's got the 3D motion detection, where the original camera just has motion detection and alerts. We've also got bird's eye view and bird's eye zones here with the new Stick-Up Cam Pro. Dual band Wi-Fi, we've got Audio Plus on the newer version, colored night vision on both of these right here. We've got pre-roll in color on the Pro version. The original version has no pre-roll whatsoever. And then with the Pro version, we have a wider field of view. So it'll feel like the camera is zoomed out a little bit, but this is okay because we can zoom in if we need to on certain things. So when we do take a look at the demos, you're gonna be able to tell the Pro version because we're gonna be able to see more that's happening around the camera and not as zoomed in. Now with both of these cameras here, they both do have sirens and they are weather resistant. But now the big question, in a real world test, is the Pro version that much better than the original version? Is it $80 better? Or is it better just maybe to get 2 of the original versions? Let's go ahead and take a look at the demos of what this camera is capable of. All right, we're testing out these cameras here during the daytime. Now we're taking a look at the original Ring Stick-Up Cam here on my left-hand side. On the right-hand side is the Pro camera. Now the Pro camera does have the HDR on it, so we're going to get better video quality when it comes to shadowing and then really bright areas like we're seeing in the shot right here. I'm about 10 feet away from the cameras right now, just to give you guys an idea of audio. I'm going to back all the way up here to about 20 feet. So here I'm about 20 feet away from the cameras. And then if we go all the way back here, this is about 35 feet away. So being all the way from 35 feet to, we're going to go all the way up here to about 6 feet away from the cameras right now, just to give you an idea of the audio between these. Now that we've seen a daytime shot, let's take a look at the nighttime shot with these cameras. It looks like about 6 feet away. We'll take it all the way back to show you guys what it looks like. So here is about 25 feet with that camera. And we'll go all the way back here at 35 feet. So now that you know what this camera looks like at night, now let's take a look at the Pro version and what that's capable of. All right, now we're taking a look with the Pro camera here at nighttime. This is what it looks like. It's got to be a much better picture than what we're seeing before. But let's take it all the way back in and take a look. Take a look here all the way at 20 feet. We'll go back to 35. Give you an idea of what it looks like now all the way back here at 35 feet. Now the next thing that I want to do with these cameras is get a little bit more light in here. Maybe you have the porch light on, something like that. So let's take a look at what these cameras look like side by side with a little bit more light on in this backyard. All right, we have a bit more lights on out here now. We've got the porch light on. We've got some lights on in the house, just to give you an idea of what these cameras can look like when there's a little bit more light on outside as opposed to being pitch black. So let me take a look all the way back here, just to give you guys an idea of what it looks like, and then we'll take it all the way back here to the gate. So now you have an idea of what these cameras look like at nighttime with no lights on, and then now with a little bit of light on if you do have maybe a porch light. Wow, I was not expecting that. If we took a look at the day shots, I was very surprised that the new Pro version wasn't as clear as I was expecting it to be. Now granted, this is not a 2K camera or a 4K camera, it still is the 1080p camera, so maybe I shouldn't be too surprised. Another big benefit with the new Pro camera is that it does have HDR. So if we look at the original Stick-Up Cam, we can see that I'm pretty dark in the footage, and even all the shadowing around me is darker than what we're seeing with the Pro version. With the Pro version, with that HDR, we're able to see better contrast between light and dark areas. Now, the sky on the Pro version looked beautiful. It looked nice and blue, and you can see all the way back there. That's great. Don't really need that though. It's that image of who is within 20, 30 feet of the camera and walking around that you really want to be nice and clear. Now when it came to the night shots, it was a lot clearer on who the winner was. The original Stick-Up Cam was blurry. You couldn't really get a lot of detail out of it, especially when I walked all the way back to my gate. which was about 35 feet away. Now it's dark over there, but it's really hard to see any details. When we go take a look at the Pro version, there's a lot more detail in that shot. Now the reason I didn't do a side-by-side with the night shots is because I didn't want their infrareds to interfere with each other and have too much light shooting at it. So that's why I did shoot those separately. The last comparison that I did is turning on more lights in the house. So I turned on the lights in the house, I turned on the porch lights. This might be more realistic for some of you having some outside lighting on instead of it being pitch black out there like I typically do. Now this is where I was really surprised. If we look at the full images of both of these, now the Pro version is clearer, but in true Ring fashion with that colored night vision of theirs, it really only shows yellows. And I don't know why that is. It's with all the cameras I've tested. So we can see that there's a lot of yellows being pulled out, but nothing else is in color. Now there's no spotlight on this camera, so I guess that makes sense. But when we take a look at the older stick-up camera, there's actually a little bit more color coming out. It's not super yellow like it is with the Pro version. So I was a little surprised that looking at these side by side, although the image wasn't as clear with the original stick-up cam, I kind of liked that image better. And then as far as the audio between the two, I mean, to be honest, they both stunk. They weren't really that good. Once I got to that 20-foot mark and then even to the 35-foot mark, regardless of the camera, I couldn't really even hear that much between the two cameras. It wasn't until I got closer that I could really hear anything. And I think for most people, audio is just a nice to have, but you don't really need it. That video is really what you're looking for. So there's the comparison between both of the older version and the new Pro version of these cameras. They both have their pros and cons. The older version's got a nice budget-friendly price to it with some good features, but the Pro version has got some really awesome features with that bird's eye view and being able to set up different detection zones. We've also got HDR video. It does have some improved audio compared to the old version, and it does have that extra pre-roll, so you can see what's happening a little bit before the clip actually picks up and starts recording well. But is it worth the extra $80 for this camera? I mean, that's gonna be up for you to decide. If you need those extra features, probably going to be worth it for you. If not, and you prefer to have two of the cheaper cameras, then that's always a great route to go down too. Now, one glaring feature that both of these cameras are missing is a spotlight. Neither one of these have a spotlight, but Ring does have a spotlight camera. If you want to know more about that camera, check out this video over here. If this video is helpful, give it a thumbs up. Let me know that you liked it. As always, don't forget to subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you guys in the next video.